Hello friends and welcome back to Thom Teaches Guitar. Today we're going to learn how to properly tune our instrument and also how to play our first open chords. First things first, we don't want to start playing out of tune, so we're going to need to tune up. The 6 strings on our guitar are all named after the pitch they produce when plucked. E, B, G, D, A, and E. Some people can struggle to remember the string names right away, but there is plenty of mnemonic devices that can be used to remember them. When I was first learning, I used Easter Bunny gets drunk at Easter. This is called standard tuning, and it's how the vast majority of songs are played. You can tune your guitar in different ways to this, but for the time being, we don't need to think about that. The easiest way to make sure our strings are all the correct pitch is with one of these, a tuner. Now there are lots of different types of tuners, but one of the most common is this, a clip-on. It sits on top of the headstock of your guitar and senses the vibrations when you play a string. It'll then tell you whether the string is too tight, making the pitch too sharp, or if the string is too loose, making the pitch flat. If you don't have a tuner to hand just yet, don't worry. There are plenty of guitar tuner apps available on smartphones that'll do the job just fine. But for sheer ease of use and accuracy, it's best to get your hands on a dedicated tuner at some point. Now that we're all tuned up, we can start to play. The first thing we're going to learn are what's called open chords. Now, a chord is a collection of notes all played at the same time to give us a pleasing sound. Chords can be played all over the fretboard and in a number of different ways as long as the right notes are being played. Open chords are just chords that use open strings, essentially strings that you don't have to hold down. Sometimes called campfire chords or cowboy chords, they are widely regarded as the easiest chords to play and are the basic building blocks of 90% of all music. Chords are extremely useful to us as players, and even if you learn just a handful, you'll still be able to play along with a vast array of different songs. There are even a lot of songs that only use 2 chords the whole time. For example, the 2 chords we're going to learn today, D minor and E minor, are the only 2 chords that you need to know to be able to play 505 by the Arctic Monkeys. We'll start with D minor as it's the trickier of the 2, but also the first chord of the song. D minor only needs us to hold down 3 strings, the bottom 3, E, B, and G. Take your first finger, your index or pointer finger, and place it on the very first fret of the very first string, E. It should sound like this. Now take your third finger, your ring finger, and place it on the 3rd fret of the second string, B. It should sound like this. Finally, take your second finger, your middle finger, and place it on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, G. It should sound like this. Now if we strum the bottom 4 strings all at once, it should sound like this. This is a D minor chord. Well done. Now at first you might find it difficult to hold the strings down hard enough for them to all ring out clearly, especially if you're playing on an acoustic guitar, but don't worry. As you practice more and more, your fingers will get stronger, especially your fingertips, and your grip will improve. And before you know it, you'll be able to ring out every string in the chord, nice and clear. It's important to note with this chord, we only play the bottom 4 strings. If we play the top 2 as well, they'll ring out over the chord and make the whole thing sound very messy. On to the next one, E minor. E minor is probably the easiest chord you'll ever have to play, as we only have to remember to hold down 2 strings, they're very easy to reach, and you can play every string on the fretboard, meaning we don't have to remember not to play certain strings. Take your first finger and place it on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, A. It should sound like this. Now take your second finger and place it on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, D. It should sound like this. Play all 6 strings at once while holding those 2 down, and you've got your first E minor. Well done. And now you can play 505. But I crumble completely when you cry. These 2 chords will pop up a lot during your journey playing guitar. So take your time, get comfortable playing them, transitioning from one to the other. Start slow at first. Make sure you're always getting the right fingers into the right positions before you strum. It might feel like you're going really slowly, but the more you practice, the faster you'll get, and you'll be ready to learn your next chords before you know it. Make sure you subscribe so you can keep updated when the next video comes out. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThomVoxMusic if you're struggling, if you have any questions, or if you're looking for any suggestions on other songs you can play with the new chords you've learned. Other than that, stay safe everybody, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.